Hey everyone, it's your girl Maddie here, aka Beavermosh, and today I'm talking to you about Portrait of a Wasteland from the Italy-based band Adversor. And this is coming off of Time to Kill Records. And Adversor plays thrash metal. And it's a thrash metal that exists within the nastier and harsher side of the genre. It's going to be something much more abrasive than if your understanding of thrash metal is solely, say, the big four. This leans close to death metal at times. The riffs slice and cut with an unapologetic aggression. Everything on this record musically is just so punishing and fast. The solos shred, which is a hallmark of good thrash, and the vocals. I think something that makes this such an abrasive and fierce take on thrash is just how jagged and menacing the vocal deliveries are on this thing. The first track, Purifying Hate, begins with these marching riffs and these drums from Jacopo Cardi that snap with this rigor. The vocals are just so grizzled and chaotic, a really tasty delivery from Dado. Guitarist Filippo Parisi brings in some more somewhat technical, pretty complex and twisting riffs to the music here, adds a nice dynamic diversity. And the bassist, Ale, I believe it's pronounced, I'm sorry if I got that wrong, playing here is really distinct and kind of does its own thing, very separate from what the guitar is doing. Adds some nice counterpointing runs, which results in this cool harmonic bent to the music on this album. The solo on this track is piercing, but also subtly melodic, and I always dig it when bands are able to accomplish just that. Outcast is a little more groove-oriented with these very infectious, palm-muted riffs, and the guitars in general are just a bit leaning towards the melodic side, but never too much, but have this also dark approach to them, which is kind of maintained throughout the entire album. And once again, the rumbling, very interesting bass work here adds such a unique texture to the track, sort of conjures up this morose feeling throughout the record. And the hook here, there's a real chorus that's memorable and kind of catchy. Throwback to Darkness has this slow, nightmarish build that is a great way to introduce this kind of frenzied mood for you. And while this is happening, these kind of spiraling and dizzying riffs continuously toss this track forward with so much energy. The way the drums kind of skip on this track in tandem with this staggered rhythm guitar gives the track this kind of alien syncopation to it, which I really love. It's disorienting. You'll adjust, but it's disorienting in a thrilling way. And then the solo here just weeps and wails. There's a lot of emotion while being technical and shredding, and I adore that. On Les Miserables, you get these fast racing riffs that move forward with such a vengeance, and I love just how angry and unhinged and aggressive the vocals are on this track. The guitars do this sort of incessant buzzing thing paired with these rolling snares that give the track this nervous, frenetic energy. It's kind of wild. And also on this cut, You get this really discordant bass solo with these really cool harmonic things going on. It's super interesting. There's a certain ambition from Adversor being displayed here, with the compositions being more on the adventurous side of things and not simply being a straight to the cut thrash metal album, but in the same way doesn't lose that foundation and focus either. I like the band's use of tempo and dynamic shifts on Entangled, speeding things up, constantly adding and taking away layers without ever missing sight of where the track is going or losing focus. And the tone here for the guitars is really nice. It's crunchy and nasty, but also has a clarity and a punch to it. You get this long, extended guitar solo that reaches some serious peaks and showcases the band's technicality. And the riffs have a certain melodicism, as I have mentioned previously, but that melodicism only serves to accentuate the record's massive aggressiveness. 7 Years has maybe the most standout, probably my favorite, most interesting moment on the record. And it comes in the way of this infectious bass groove. Here I am talking about the bass again. That kind of reminds me of something you'd more expect in like a post-punk or like a gothy no-wave record. It just showcases the band's willingness to reach out and be experimental within the confines of thrash metal. Under Siege is fast. Get out of the way. It's running forward with reckless abandon. And at the same time, the vocals here have this decipherable tunefulness to them. The drums here have that cool kind of D-beatish thing going on, and I like this mid-tempo sort of chug in the middle of the track. The guitars have this more percussive edge to them, while a lead kind of blooms and bleeds out of that in a very cool way. I really like this interesting kind of give and take between the guitars and the drums on Greed. For a couple measures, the guitars will do these cycling, reverberating riffs, and then sort of strip itself down and let the drums almost be the lead instrument. And then it switches again. It's a very creative way to do an introduction for this track. This whole song has this jerking, snapping feel to it. And then underneath, the bass runs and rolls and terrorizes. And if I haven't made it clear already how much I appreciate the bass work on this album, let me say it again here. It rules. Samsara has this elemental feeling to it. These more melodic bass runs add this mystical aura to the track. As I've said now previously, this is not just always a straightforward thrash metal album, even though it has definitely roots in that and does maintain that appreciation. There is a heightened sense of exploration to be found from Adversor on this album. The closing title track here ends this record on a hella rippin', hella violent note. This is a particularly dark way to end a particularly dark and more sinister thrash metal album. The riffs here have this creeping allure to them that add to its distinct mood and texture. It simply slays. This is a thrash metal album that, to be honest, I think people are overlooking. It has fantastic musicianship with a riff styling that isn't that commonplace in thrash metal, although it's not a record that's trying to be too alien or oblique either. This thing takes a more slicing and highly abrasive approach that I really love. And I believe listeners and appreciators of thrash metal are going to find a lot to hold on to and to love about this record, and I give it high recommendation to those people. And hey, guess what? Those are my thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It helps get this out there. It would be so kind of you and mean the world if you would subscribe. It really helps with the algorithm, just grow this thing that we're in a part of. Leave a comment below. I love engaging with those. I have a Twitter you can follow. Link to that is in the bio of this YouTube channel. I'll occasionally remind you that I have a Ko-Fi that if you are interested in supporting the channel financially, one thing I am immediately looking forward is to upgrade the camera so this looks better. And thank you to the people that have already donated. It's so kind and I wasn't really expecting that, and I'm very humbled by that. Yeah, my name is Maddie, aka Beavermosh. Keep it metal. I'm signing off. Bye.